What should be the title of this?
Of this?
The video.
Pain.
Pain?
Depends how deep we go. If we hit certain things, dog, I'm gonna cry.
There's something you don't want to talk about? You ain't gotta talk about it.
I just don't want to talk about the drugs.
Yes.
They know I wasn't bullshitting, and they went and bought deadbolts for their bedrooms. I think me and you should maybe sit down and let me talk. Let me just tell you my story, and then we redo this. For that 17-hour ride, man, I wasn't allowed to color or nothing. I kept hearing, if they ask you this, what are you gonna say? If they ask you this, what are you gonna say?
Emo and stuff like that?
Dude, I don't read and I don't write. And it worked, and I made 30 units of it, and I sold it. And soon as the first customer went online and said that I'm not lying, that his dog was awesome, 600 people from our area code wanted it.
Really?
And then the last person I talked to was a lady from Orlando that owned a groomer, and she wanted me to come stock all of her shelves.
What's the name that you go by?
My name's Ronald Mac.
Where's home?
Home would be Lake Tropicana. Lake Tropicana.
No kidding.
Yeah, I was there for 30-something years.
So how long you been on the streets now?
A year. A year today, pretty much.
Oh man. How was your upbringing?
Horrible.
Yeah.
Unmentionable.
Unmentionable. Do you have any sort of relationship with your family now, or?
Not really. I know my mom got a lot of guilt, so whenever I need something, I call her, and she normally sends me a couple dollars. But if I ask for 50, she'll send me 30. If I ask for 100, she'll send me 80. She never sends me like what I need, you know.
No, I hear you.
But it's what it is. Most of my life, I've always worked for it. We don't really talk much.
Oh, your brother, or?
Yeah, me and my brother. I took the brunt of everything, and then when stepdad came in, I said, "Don't you ever touch my brother the way you hit me." And then when I was 14, he was getting lippy with mom in the kitchen, and I bowed up and I pushed him. Well, he pushed me back, and I picked myself up like 14 feet away.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. And I said, "Don't go to sleep tonight." And they went and bought deadbolts for their bedrooms. They know I wasn't bullshitting, but that's why I'm homeless. He kept sticking me in the kitchen, and then he tried to move it outside where there was cameras. I felt like he was trying to get me to hit him so he could.
Oh yeah.
So
fucking
the next time, he didn't realize I had my phone in my hand recording him, and he threw a chair at me. So I left that night to cool down. I showed up the next night with a big ass sheriff.
No shit.
And soon as he's like, "Wait a minute, I'm going to jail?" And he's like, "Absolutely." And he slung a flashlight at me and told me I was a dead man. Man, they didn't charge him with nothing but a misdemeanor. If I throw something, it's a felony.
Yeah.
Throwing deadly missiles.
Oh yeah.
And I said I want it noted that that's a legit death threat, man. I'm scared of this man.
Yeah.
And fucking the cop got on me talking about, ain't it bad enough he's going to jail? But no, it's not, dude. I could give you a fucking 2-day long episode if you want it, man. I first met my stepdad. His best friend whooped my ass, you know, like whooped my ass over a whoopee cushion. There was 5 kids. We ain't had no toys. It's the first time I ever seen these people, you know. And now that I'm older, I realize I was being a cock block, you know.
Yeah.
And I guess I was getting aggravated with a whoopee cushion. Well, I watched him put his foot on it where the air comes out and roll his ankle backwards and pop the motherfucker. And I was throwing a fit when it was time to lay down, and he started spanking my ass, and he wanted me to say yes sir. I ain't know that. My mom finally threw herself down next to me. She's like, "Just say yes sir, Ronald." So I started screaming and shit, you know. And then when I get older, they try to tell me it was different. They try to say that he smacked me twice, mom jumped on me, and dad jacked him up against the wall. Come on, shit gets etched in your head, you know? then I could tell her my pillow was green, Lisa's was red, and Danny's was red. Me and Danny were sharing them. Like, you can't tell me I'm remembering shit wrong.
Yeah.
Like, and then, well, I can't remember. It was long. Then why are you telling me I'm remembering it wrong if you can't remember? You know. Once I went to see my biological dad was in a coma for over 20 years, and we went to see him once, and he had his trach had fell out. There was a pile of mucus on his chest. Well, the nurse come in and she tried to squeeze herself in between me and him in bed. Hey, son, you didn't do, dog. I grabbed her, and we went right over the other coma victim. And then, like always, when I'd go see him, I'd beat the stop sign until I ain't had no skin on my knuckles. And that was real hard, man. Real hard. And then the trip up there, my mom lost her appeal to pull the plug. I'm only in Florida because Florida's a right to die state. My mom tried to move here, then move him here so she could pull the plug, no questions.
Yeah.
She tried to kill him before me and Lisa turned 18. That way she got all her money. You know what I'm saying? He set up CDs before he went in the army where they couldn't discharge him because he couldn't sign papers. So them years, them CDs just gained money. And she made me sign this paper. I didn't really know what I was signing. She said, you know, he died, you got some money coming, I need you to sign this paper. I signed, and my sister, all our money over to her. Luckily, thank the, whatever judge it was, said no. And he awarded me and my sister 30% of her money. And I walked out the bank with $34,000. So she pretty much robbed us of almost 80 grand.
Oh my God.
And then I bought a double wide, paid for it cash, bought a car, a boat, a four-wheeler. I had 16 grand left and I was looking for a piece of property, you know. And I don't like my mom calling me stupid, you know. She kept telling me, Ron, you're being stupid. We have 4 acres, there's already a well and a septic back there. Oh, finally I give in and I said, fuck it, I'll put my trailer there. Not even 4 years goes by and she wants to move. So they move. Well, she kept paying her house payment up front. My brother lived there, then my sister lived there. Well, after my sister left, I kept hearing, I'm having to pay $1,000 because your trailer's on my property. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And then there's some people living with me and they had some money. I was like, look, I know my mom's gonna, she'll probably let you get it at cost. And I know she goes around 50 and it was a hell of a deal. I mean, she had a shed on there that was 10 grand. She just black topped it, which was 15 grand. And her house was real big, you know?
Yes, sir.
And I talked to them and I was supposed to get the back half of the property. And they got the front half of the property and that for the 50. And they were good with it. So I go to work the next day, come home, and he can't wait to tell me that they talked to mom and they were getting the whole property. But they could never mess with me, they could never ask me for no taxes or anything. They gave her 20 grand that day, and they had a year to give her the other 30 something. Well, they didn't. Mom lets it go into foreclosure. I don't get no notice to move my house. And that's pretty much why I'm homeless, man. I have a paid off, beautiful double wide in my truck in. And now it's in somebody else's name. I want to go burn it down or something. I don't know how they do that without notifying me to move it.
Yeah.
You know? They're supposed to give me some, from my understanding, they're supposed to give me a notice to move all my belongings and I had blah, 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 you know?
Yeah.
But I never received none of that. And, yeah. And that was what I bought with my inheritance, man. I got a good deal on it. I stripped the whole thing. I went through the whole thing. I put 3/4 inch marine plywood through it. There's $8,000 in plywood in it.
Oh yeah, marine grade?
Yeah. So I knew the floors would be good. We pulled all the trim down. I textured all. I mean, it's pretty, man. And it had a brand new metal roof. I'd been good. you know?
Yeah.
I always listen to my mom, and somebody out there should have said, don't talk to strangers, don't talk to your mom, you know? But I could remember when I was 8 years old, and mom's all about money, obviously, and I always try to come up with some way where we wouldn't have to worry about that no more. Even at day, I said, Mom, what if we got a van or a bus or something and shuttled people that only got one car that can't float down the river? She told me that was stupid, that'll never work.
That's big business.
There are 4 fucking companies now at the river that do that. And I said something to my mom 15 years before that ever started.
Yeah.
And then I was 10 or 11, and Mom ordered stuff off TV a lot, and I remember a lot of it didn't work, or it wasn't what it was supposed to be. And I said, Mom, what if we came up with something you plugged into the wall and it repelled snakes? And she said, it wouldn't work. I said, it don't have to work. All we gotta do is say it works.
Yeah.
From what I've learned, you know.
It's the best thing since DD7. You remember that?
I don't know, but I know there's a lot of companies out there that got shit you plug into the wall and it repels shit now.
Yeah.
I told her that fucking almost 30 years ago. Everything I came up with, she'd tell me it was stupid. It was stupid. And my kids, I don't care how stupid it is. I'm gonna tell them it's awesome.
Yeah.
You know? And I just never got that.
You know, I recently saw, I forget who it was, but they were talking about positive confirmation behind your kids, and they actually did an experiment, and they had taken 10 kids, and they gave them nothing but positive thought. They took 10 kids that were just as bright, if not brighter, and gave them nothing but negative thought. It broke them down because they weren't getting that positive effort.
It does.
You know?
It does. And I'm gonna toot my horn for a minute.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
When it came to baseball, like, I was always 3 years younger than everybody I was playing with, and the most asked question for most coaches was, when they came to play us, Ronald Mac ain't pitching, is he? Because I can make the ball dance, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, all my high school games, my parents came and they filmed. Like, I got umpires that come out and they call the other umpire over there and they like, do that thing where I threw a knuckleball. And then one game, I know they were going right across the plate and they kept calling them a ball, and you get an expression from the pitcher where the umpire comes out there and he's like, I'm very sorry, 90% of them come across the plate, but I can't call them a strike when your catcher can't catch them. And that's how bad I made the ball dance, you know?
No kid.
And that was one of my
So
biggest...
we're calling them balls because Hatcher couldn't hold on to the ball.
He
Had
couldn't
so much
catch
spin.
it danced, bro. It danced. And every time I pitched, my name was in the paper, you know? Every time I pitched, my name was in the paper. And in Little League, I was always the smallest kid because I was 3 years younger than everybody.
Yeah.
And they hated seeing me on the mound because my mouth didn't stop. You know, I knew I was that good. But I get home, I had a tire hanging on the fence. I threw that ball at that tire every second I could. And that's one of my biggest regrets. I took off my uniform, I smacked my coach in the chest with it. Because it was our last game. He brung down all the varsity, so we lost every game but our first one. What does it matter if we lose our last one? But I was the only kid that was playing. Everybody else was varsity, came down. So I took off my jersey. I said, I'm going to sit with my team.
Yeah.
He's like, well, you're coming to varsity next week. I'm like, I'm going to go sit with my team. And I didn't play, you know.
Oh, man.
But there ain't nobody my size in the major league anyways. But I guess it just wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, you never know.
That was my passion, though.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You never know, man.
Yeah, you never know. I could. I don't know. But
What's one of your biggest passions?
my dog. Dogs. Animals.
You was talking about his skin condition?
Yes, sir. It was real bad. Like, he was almost bald from his ass down. And I didn't know what to do. I tried every soap there was. Every day, I got paid daily. And like I said, there was 30 bottles of dog shampoo when Mom cleaned out my bathroom.
Yeah. And that was the shampoo
out.
that you were selling?
No, this is shit I was trying before
Oh.
I came up with
Your remedy, yeah.
Like that, if it wasn't for him, I would have done, you know. And like I tell my mom, that's my expiration date. If something happens to him, I'm checking out. You know.
Yeah.
But that's what it is. Life ain't fair.
No, it's not. A good buddy of mine, he was on the streets. He got and cleaned. He ended up actually, it's the irony of it. He started working at a rehabilitation place.
Yeah, I got a buddy like that.
And so he started off. He was processing kids in off the street, you know. And so he was constantly seeing, and it was his reminder, you know what I mean. And now actually he's head of HR, you know, and he's they actually wanted him to go up to Dayton, Ohio, and open up a facility and run the whole thing. Like
that's where my buddy is, and he had to get clean.
Oh yeah,
Ohio, yeah.
Dayton.
Yeah. What's up, D?
Around here there aren't a whole lot of places, but like if there was
no. To get help here, you gotta have insurance, and Witt Attic has insurance, you know. And other than that, the only thing you're gonna get is they're gonna throw you in a bed and let you sweat it out, and that's horrible. It's a tough one, man.
Anything that you want to say before we close?
Humans messed up a long time ago.
Yeah.
They did. And I think it's irreversible at this point.
It'd take a lot to...
It would take a lot. It would take people hearing me talk. If they could hear me talk, it would be alright. I ain't never had no one disagree with what I say, you know. And we need President Trump back in office.
Yeah.
I really think he cared about us, you know. What's that?
There's a free-for-all at the southern border, all the fentanyl that's coming into this country that's being supplied by China.
Yeah.
And it's a way...
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's a way...
And they're making it so cheap, now you can't even find heroin. You know, it's all fentanyl.
Well, like you went like Xanax when I was growing up, you know, like the bars and stuff.
Yeah.
They have Xanax bars that are fentanyl. A
Yeah,
girl,
I heard
15 years old, took a quarter of it. According to Dr. Phil,
in October of 21, they busted a drug lab that was turning out 70 million counterfeit pills a month with lethal levels of fentanyl.
40%.
40%. Fentanyl is synthetic, and it's all being generated in China. The DEA estimates that they are intercepting about 10%, and what they are intercepting is enough to kill every American. Well, she ordered one pill. We found 3/4 of the pill, broke it in half, and then broke it in half again. So she took a quarter of one pill, and they found her dead in the morning. If you bite into this, you're dead when you hit the ground. She took a quarter of it, boom, gone.
I've seen multiple people fall from fentanyl, and it's instant. And they say, I've done it, and they hit the ground. And if they don't got the Narcan, it's ice cubes up the rear end. I've seen, since I've been homeless, at least 8 people have to be saved.
oh my God.
I've never had a Narcan or nothing.
Yeah.
If someone Narcans me, I'll kill them. Just let me go. Let me go.
Shit, man. What should be the title of this?
Of this,
The video?
pain.
Pain?
depends how deep you go.
Pain. Depends how deep it goes. You got a phone or?
I got one, but it ain't turned on.
Yeah.
Like it's never even been turned on. I traded a kid. He had bought it. I made a swap for it.
I hear you. We can roll over there. I can take a picture of you and the dog.
That
if you
was
want.
it.
I'm kind of worried about the audio. I'm really
What,
hoping.
my voice.
Well, like, what's it called? Because of traffic and stuff like that?
Yeah. You a fucking 2-day long episode if you want it, man. It's not something to brag about, but I do more dope than Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, I hear you.